fans, do you want to win your share of $100,000? Simply enter the houseofboxing.com Fight Night Prediction Challenge. Compete with boxing fans around the world. Simply head over to houseofboxing.com and sign up now.
Charlie Parsons for Boxing Social in association with William Hill, House of Boxing and Empire Fight Store. Delighted to be joined here. Eddie Hearn, just wow.
Wow. I mean, a thriller. I knew it would be a fight of the year contender, but I didn't expect the drama. You know, Leigh Wood come out, I thought he boxed really well in the opening 2 rounds. I thought he buzzed Warrington a little bit in the first round. And then Warrington was just unbelievable. I mean, he battered Leigh Wood really in the next, 4 rounds. I had it 4-2 to Warrington going into the 7th round. Was that the round of the stoppage? Yeah, 7th round. And I said to Tony Bellew, I think the fight's done. I think Leigh Wood's done it. I think he's knackered. I think his body language don't look great. He's wincing every time he gets hit to the body. And I thought he was on the verge of getting stopped. And he just produced a brilliant shot in the exchange that buzzed Warrington. And then, 4 clean shots put him down. Obviously now there's a lot of debate about whether the fight should have been stopped. Josh feels like it was a robbery. His training team feel like it was a robbery. I feel that, I felt like he needed to turn round. And I think if he would have turned round, 100% they would have given him the minute to try and recover. But it's difficult for the ref to let the fight continue when he doesn't turn round. And he'll feel hard done by because he thinks he was a round away from winning the fight. But Leigh Wood just pulls it out of the bag again. And it was an absolute thriller.
It's mad with Leigh, isn't it? Because all fight, I think, through 7 rounds, didn't really show any sign of power. Once boxed in southpaw, which was a little bit bizarre, and then once again, miraculous.
I think when you're sitting that close, you can see the power, you can hear the power, and he definitely buzzed Josh early in the fight, but he looked hurt many times in the fight, and you know that Leigh Wood has tremendous punch power. I mean, when Ben Davison says pound for pound, the heaviest hands I've trained, and he's trained some big punchers, some great fighters, and just you can never count him out. But I even started to count him out in that fight. I thought he was done.
Eddie, it's no secret that 126 is a horrible weight cut. The move up to 134, still, even that doesn't allow much for him, only the £4. But that will be the next move for Leigh Wood?
Yeah, it's 130.
Sorry,
yeah,
what did I say?
134. That's actually not a weight class.
I don't know why I said that. That's funny.
Yeah, well, no, but obviously work experience. Kids, you can't expect to know everything. But I think that really it's about the fight now. It's not even about the weight class, other than it's no longer featherweight. 100% Leigh Wood will vacate the belt on Monday. It will then be Komatov against Ray Ford, our American, superstar for the title, which is a tremendous fight. But I think now, it's even if it's a catch weight, it's moving to super feather. It's been too difficult for him, and even Josh Warrington. Like when you've been a career featherweight, it's very difficult to continue to make weight. I know Josh makes it better than Leigh, but I'm sure it's tough all round. I think there's going to be a lot of calls for the rematch. I think Josh Warrington and the Leeds fans are going to feel like they're hard done by. It was a brilliant fight. He was dominating the fight. So that the rematch is going to be a thriller, whether that's at super feather, whether it's a catchweight, whether Joe Cordina looks at it and says, I might take a big money fight, and we do Wood against Cordina at the City Ground, but obviously we're planning an outdoor event for Joe as well. So do we try and get Navarrete over, which is another tremendous fight? So it's going to take a big fight to go to the City Ground. It's not Leigh Wood v Parsons, but it's going to have to be a big B-side or a big champion. And I'm sure with the crowd that we can pull and the support of the zone, the numbers were fantastic tonight, all round. And I don't rule out the rematch.
Trying to say is up to 130 is only an extra £4, which isn't all that massive. I suppose, just lastly on that, you talk about the City Ground. He's boxed, I think, 3 times in 8 months now. Time out, maybe look at May end of the season, so there won't be problems with the pitch.
You get 1 week, honestly. You get 1 week to do the fight, and that'll be, I think, May, which is fine. Like, he's had 3 fights in 8 months, so now he can have a really nice Christmas, enjoy himself in January. He can eat a little bit more because he knows the cut's not going to be as brutal. And then on to big things next year.
Just a run through of the card, please.
Yeah, listen, I thought Terri Harper was robbed, in all honesty. I've looked, everybody at ringside agreed with me, but then when I looked online, people watching on TV had it much closer. I couldn't give Cecilia, and I love Cecilia Brackhouse, I think she's great, but I couldn't give her more than 3 rounds in that fight, and I thought that was being generous. So I felt like Terri Harper should be unified world champion. But I'll have to watch it back, and we'll see if we do it again. It wasn't the greatest fight in the world. But whether Terri moves back down to 47, maybe looks at the winner of Sandy Ryan against Jessica McCaskill is an option, but we'll have to see. I thought Kieran Conway was starting to get into his groove against Linus Ndofia, horrible eye injury, and got the win by stoppage. I thought Hopi Price against Conor Coghill was a tremendous fight. Came through, got buzzed a little bit in the fight, came through and stopped Coghill in the 12th round. I thought Janae Boston was fantastic. December 16 next for him for the American debut. Good wins for Kobe McNamara and Nico Olivas. I thought Cameron Vaughn was outstanding. I think everybody looked at him tonight and said, this kid's a real star.
Just moving forward then, the schedule, we saw two announcements tonight. We saw the announcement for the Newcastle Next Gen, Pat McCormack headlining, which is a really exciting one, and then obviously Michael Conlan against Jordan Gill, and you managed to get Kevin Ajako versus Troy Williamson over the line. You must be buzzing with those two.
I mean, the December 2nd response has been incredible. I think we'll sell out the Odyssey. 2017 since we last went there. It's a great card. Mick Conlan against Jordan Gill, which is a great fight, and Kevin Ajako against Troy Williamson. I've wanted to make that fight so bad. It's a brilliant fight. Tyrone McKenna against Crocker, tremendous fight for Belfast and Ireland. And then you've got Sam Maxwell fighting Sean McComb, and great little fight. And Next Gen, Pat McCormack in a huge step up. And some really interesting fights made there. So, when you look at the schedule now, that's pretty much us complete, other than hopefully a big announcement maybe in a week's time. Next week, obviously you've got KSI and Tommy Fury on DAZN. The week after, we're in Liverpool for Catterall and Ares, nearly 7,000 sold there. It's going to be a huge night. 28th is Oshaki Foster against Rocky Hernandez in Cancun. November 4th in Monaco for Joe Cordina's defence. The 11th, the Next Gen in Newcastle. 18th in Los Angeles with Pacheco. 25th, Cameron against Taylor in Dublin. Now the 2nd in Belfast with an unbelievable card, followed by Haney Prograis in San Fran. 16th is in Phoenix for Sonny against Benn. And if we can throw in Benn Eubank on the 23rd, it's the greatest end of 4 months I've seen in boxing. And I told you we were going to come strong on the back end of the year, and we've smashed everyone to pieces with our schedule on the back end. But we've got to keep going, try and get 23rd made, but every week now till Christmas.
Gut feeling, does December the 23rd, Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank Jr. happen?
I'm going to do everything I can to make this fight. And I want to do the fight in Britain. And I'll do everything I can to make this fight in Britain. And if we have to take it internationally, it's no problem. But we are not seeing the big fights in Britain. And this is a mega fight. We can do it at Millennium Stadium. Let's get it made.
Eddie, just lastly from me, I hear your kids are absolutely pestering you, seeing if Jimmy Sains is on the undercard of KSI Tommy Fury next week. Will you be going, and can I get 2 predictions for the main events? Obviously KSI Tommy Fury, and then Logan Paul, Dylan Dennis.
It's my only week off really till Christmas, but my kids do want to go to see KSI against Tommy Fury. And I do think it will be an unbelievable event. So I think Tommy Fury is going to win the fight, but I'll never count out KSI. And then does Dylan Dennis turn up? If he does, I think he loses to Logan Paul, but I can't wait for the build-up. So well done, Misfits, and I'll either be tuned in or I'll be at the Manchester Arena next week.
Eddie, thank you as always. I'm looking forward to not being terrorised for a week.